Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby constitute this congregation of the University of the Free State for the awarding of certificates and diplomas and conferment of degrees in the Faculty of the Humanities. I therefore award certificates and diplomas and confer degrees on all the candidates that the Dean presents to this congregation. In addition, I hereby award certificates and diplomas and confer degrees on all those whose names appear in the program but who are not present here today. Please be seated.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Goeiemiddag, dames en heren. Dumelang bommel bontate. Welcome to this, the 10th and the very last session of the 2018 Autumn Graduation Ceremonies of the University of the Free State. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you. I first would like to start by welcoming our Chancellor, Dr. Mokhele. I also would like to welcome the members of Council present here today, represented by the President of the Convocation of the University, Professor Johan Grobbelaar. We have Dr. Maria Swart also as a member of Council, and a representative of the Alumni Association of the University, Dr. Peter Dutoy. Let me also welcome rectorate members present here, especially Professor Prakash Naidu, and my fellow registrar, Dr. Karen Lazenby, the Deputy President of the SRC, Mr. Hlonolo Buikanyo, the two campus principals of our campuses, one in Kwakwa and one which is here called the South Campus. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome the deans of the 7 faculties that we have, as well as a representative of the Dean of Students, Dr. Melissa Banasconi. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome our support staff present here today, our academic staff, some of whom are also members of Senate, who came to bless the proceedings here today. However, let me also take the opportunity to welcome especially members of the families of the graduates this afternoon. In particular, I would like to welcome the grandparents, the parents, uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters, friends, husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, and so on and so forth. Please feel at home. This is a very enjoyable occasion. Relax, enjoy, because we have been waiting for this moment for a long time now, and it has finally arrived. It is here. So let us celebrate in whichever manner possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to announce a few logistical arrangements that we would like you to be cautious about. First, we have dedicated university appointed photographers in the hall here. However, we have also afforded an opportunity to freelance photographers who have been given some space outside the hall from which to operate. These freelance photographers are not accredited by the university, and therefore the university cannot guarantee the quality of the photographs they take. Those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who happened to have arrived late here, please refer to page 4 of the graduation program so that you can see some of the things that the do's and don'ts of this particular ceremony. Today, as I indicated, it is time to celebrate the achievement of each graduate. Therefore, hearing the full names of each and every student being announced is important to everyone here. You are therefore requested, and humbly so, to limit your cheers and loud exclamations. And please make them short enough for everyone to hear the announcement of the name of the next candidate. Please be aware that leaving the hall before the end of the ceremony is a distraction to all of us. You are also, ladies and gentlemen, requested to refrain from making telephone calls or taking them for that matter. We'd rather keep them on silent until the ceremony has been concluded. Graduates, we request you to complete the graduation exit survey that is there on your chairs and leave it with us, because we want to have record of you so that we can keep communicating with you from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now take this opportunity to introduce to you the guest speaker at this ceremony today. I'm talking about Mr. Hannes van Wyk. As one of only 2 students nationwide to be appointed as a permanent member of a theater company at the former regional councils, that is PECOFs, this UFS drama graduate showed promise during early days of his studies here. Mr. Hannes van Wyk is originally from Aliwal North, where he also completed his schooling career. His parents, Henny and Marit van Wyk, instilled many sound values in their son, which equipped him to serve on the SRC during his time as a student here at the COFSIS. His colorful career branched into 2 main directions, namely acting and presenting. The most memorable character he portrayed was the detestable Creinau du Buisson in the soap opera Igoli. However, he starred in many other television, film, and theater productions, including Toerangs, Angels, Vallei van Slayers, Waterfront, and Voor Ek Vergeet. As a multi-skilled artist, Mr. van Wyk also managed to publish a book, Vroue na aan my hart. Mr. van Wyk's career as presenter led him to have a couple of interviews with just about every well-known South African, including, for example, the late President Nelson Mandela and other international celebrities such as President Bill Clinton, Sophia Loren, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's currently an anchor for the magazine program Kwela, after being a presenter in the television program Bravo. His career is still continuing to blossom with the filming of 2 new television series, the role of producer, and a full diary of appearances as guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2012, he was named the UFS Chancellor's Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. Let us put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Hannes van Wyk.
I don't recognize the person you just introduced, but thank you very much. Honorable Chancellor, distinguished guests, and most importantly, our graduates and their families. It's been a while since I've been here where you are now, but the feeling never changed. Earlier today, as I drove past students on their way to fetch gowns and meet friends and have their pictures taken, I saw a younger version of myself. He was very good looking, but looked very insecure. And he definitely wasn't taking any selfies. Those were the days. Back then, my younger self roamed this campus for a good 4 years, until I too was faced with the prospect of leaving this home, the university, the hostel. I was a bit scared, I have to admit. I had already left Allowell North for Bloemfontein, and finally I had to leave Bloem for the big world. I had to make something of myself. I had to convince my parents that the money they spent on me learning how to cry and how to be someone else was money well spent. As you probably know, I came here to study drama. Niku? I thought you should know that when I came to this institution, I was from a small town in more than one way. I didn't know anything about the big wide world. So much so that 2 weeks into my first year, my roommate, who was from another big city, suggested that we hit the town and go shopping. I had to remind him all shops were closed between 1 and 2. Where I came from, that was the case, and I thought that was the norm. As you can gather, I came a long way to where I find myself today. As I parked my car not far from where I had my first, I'm now an adult, cigarette, I suddenly felt that same sense of fear. Where do we go from here? What lies ahead of us? Will we be okay? And I'm sure after writing exam after exam, the last thing you want to answer is another question. Therefore, I will leave you with some of my answers. They are not the only correct answers to these questions, but you are more than welcome to use them on the road ahead, and hopefully they'll be helpful. My first point, where do we go from here? Firstly, home. Go and give your mother a hug, your father, guardian, friend, mentor, spouse. Whoever got you through late nights and long days when it seemed easier to just film yourself eating a pizza and post it on Facebook. Yes, the hard work was all you, but someone prayed, someone paid. Someone phoned and someone made sure you ate more than just pizza. I would like to use this opportunity to tell parents here today that the biggest gift that you have given your children was to enable them to study. And more importantly, study what they wanted to. I speak from experience when I say that I know that in many cases, parents deprive themselves to enable their children to follow their dreams. So we do get by with a little help, or a lot in many cases. My second life philosophy I share with you is the following proverb: there's strength in numbers. Don't try and do everything on your own. Wherever you go from here, make sure you're not going there alone. John Locke states, education begins the character, but association with others completes your character. Here you have been taught to think critically and to appreciate literature. This place has given you an understanding of cultures, the different use of power, the mysteries of the mind, the organization of societies, the complexities of leadership, the art of communication, and the challenge of change. That's your educational part. The completion of your character, association with others, I must warn you, will come with a lot of challenges. Challenges like, will I succeed in my job? What if people don't like me? What if I'm a failure? Be cautious in your association with others, as there's a lot of trickery in the world, but let not that blind you to the fact that there's also still a lot of virtue to be found in others. My third life philosophy is to welcome change in your life. I went through many a season, and there will be a lot of seasonal changes, I can assure you, for we are all made up of seasons. Sometimes we reign, sometimes we shine, sometimes we grow, and sometimes we don't. And this is the wonderful thing about seasons. Each one comes at just the right time. Our delight at the changing of the seasons highlights an interesting and seemingly contradicting fact of human nature. We yearn both for change and repetition, newness and sameness, novelty and tradition. Repetition, sameness, and tradition all have their places in our lives, but you should let the seasons change and renew you. It's always interesting to look back on these years. You're a student now, but soon you'll be a tax-paying, decision-making, drinking wine on a Wednesday because a week is taking forever adult. And you will have changed. No longer will you be the person in the back of the classroom just trying to get through another day. You'll be the person in the front, inspiring others to hold on. No longer will you be the person fighting to be at the center of attention. You'll perhaps be the quiet, strong one serving others who will finally have their chance at being heard and seen. And no longer will you be the running around without direction, but rather embracing the confidence of having nothing figured out. Don't be afraid of the change that lies ahead of you. Famous author Terry Pratchett says, "Why do you go away? So that you can come back. So that you can see the place you came from with new eyes and extra colors. And the people there see you differently too. Coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving." To sum it up, welcome change in your life, because it will happen. And at last we ask ourselves, will we be okay? Oprah Winfrey says everybody that she has ever interviewed after the interview at some point would ask, how was that? Was that okay? How did I do? Without fail. Whether it was Barack Obama or Beyoncé or somebody who had lost their family. Self met my nou moet kwela waar ek gereeld onderhoude doen, is dit die eerste vraag wat mense vra. Was ek okay? Was dit reg? Het ek die regte ding gesê? We all just want to know that what we're doing matters and that we are doing okay. And I can tell you today, you will be okay. That brings me to my next point. Just don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take anything too seriously. There's a great joy in freedom, and freedom only ever comes from letting go. When you're an actor, you take your role seriously, from learning your lines to getting on stage or in front of a camera. I guess we all do that, whether you're an actor or not. We have this desire to nail the performance on the first take, a one-take wonder. But you know what usually happens? The moment seriousness takes over, fun walks out the door. I have seen amazing, talented actors push away or hide the things that make them unique and special. All trying to be what they think they're supposed to be in the eyes or minds of others. Just be yourself. But then comes an actor who walks into a room with no excuses, no apologies, just a raw confidence in who they are and what special attributes they're bringing to the table. And everyone in the room exhales a sigh of relief. Finally, someone who is real. Someone not trying to be what they think they're supposed to be, or trying to be something someone has told them they should be. A real person owning everything about themselves. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Not taking themselves so seriously. Ons moet lag. That's it. Those are my answers. To conclude, go home and say thank you. Embrace this big change coming your way. And don't get too serious. And then the age-old lesson we have all heard, but I feel I need to repeat it today. And that is, be kind to everyone on your way up, as you may just meet them again on your way down. I leave you now with this poem called the Desiderata, Latin for desired things. It was copyrighted in 1927 by a poet and lawyer from Indiana, Max Eram. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are detrimental to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be a greater and a lesser person than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your career, however humble. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many years are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be a. And whether or not it's clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Thank you, and I wish all of you, from the bottom of my heart, all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Van Wyk, for those wonderful words of wisdom. I do hope that they will be indelibly impressed in the minds of our graduates forever as they venture further with their studies and careers. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Mr. Hannes van Wyk. Now it is music time. The German composer Johann Sebastian Bach composed 6 cello suites in 1717 and 1723 when he served as director of music in Cologne. The prelude of the first suite is probably the best known movement of the entire set of suites, and is regularly heard in television and film productions. The prelude from cello suite number 1 in G major will be performed by Professor Anna-Marie van der Westhuizen. Let's welcome her. Thank you very much, Professor van der Westhuizen, for that wonderful rendition. Now, this is the beginning of everything. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Professor Heidi Hudson, to present the candidates in her faculty.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the privilege to request you to award certificates and diplomas and confer degrees on the candidates that I introduce to you. Higher Certificate in Music Performance. Bukala, BM. May, AM, and the Certificate with Distinction. Diploma in Music. Bottoman, M. Is this his surname? Okay. Mahotla, H. Michael, MT. Van der Westhuizen, TE. Postgraduate Diploma in Gender Studies. Manyiki, LG. Postgraduate Diploma in Governance and Political Transformation. Matlo, M. Mlata, MG. Monchiwachai, MN. Ngoveni, TD. Nodada, TL. Sifuba, NB. Van Rooyen, JS. Williams, MM. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Communication Science with specialization in Corporate and Marketing Communication. Goosen, R. Lawrence, Tier, and the degree with distinction. Mochabane, M. Nkambule, KL. Pasumane, DK. Pule, PD. Van Niekerk, L. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Communication Science with specialization in Leadership Communication. Mashego, PK. Molekane, KI. Nope, N. Westhuizen, here. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Drama and Theatre Arts. De Wet, RF, and the degree with distinction. Gray, R. Hatting, MGM. Mpiti, ZR. Taylor, R. Van Kopenhagen, S. Van der Berg, SE, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Film and Visual Media. De Klerk, L. Motsanane, N. Namponya, H, and the degree with distinction. Totela, N. Van den Berg, AF. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in biokinetics. Botha, C. Botha, MB. Brown, KT. Chakane, TF. Delport, E. Helbig, N. Lombard, AJ. Lutz, M. Martins, D, and the degree with distinction. Marais, BS. Primo, DG. Prinsloo, I. Van Rooyen, C. Venter, A. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in kinderkinetics. Botus, R, and the degree with distinction. Botha, L. $GT. Gous N. Himan M and the degree with distinction. Janse van Vuren L. Jordaan M and the degree with distinction. Swart F and the degree with distinction. Swart S. Van Wyk L. Van Zyl N. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Human Movement Science with specialization in Sports Science. Arends, BS. Baden, MK. Krause, K. Du Toit, B. Ferreira, C. Haswell, BA. Janse van Rensburg, hier. Mattia, M. Minnie, C. Nodia, M. Roberts, EE, and the degree with distinction. Slambert, LA. Van der Merwe, MP. Wessels, E. Bachelor of Arts, Honours in Language Practice. Nodia, M, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with specialization in Africa Studies. Kate, PB. Matene, MDM. Ntala, CC. Ramona Heng, SPM. Sasimpe, KCG. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with specialization in Afrikaans and Dutch. Prinsloo, MM. Richter, CM. Van Zyl, C, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Criminology. Lechwati, KV. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Geography. Hatting, Bia. Letimela, O. Smith, Z. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in History. Hila, TUA. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in International Relations. Tulo, TP. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Philosophy. Besuidenhout, JS. Swart, JA, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Political Science. Madonsela, S, and the degree with distinction. Sima, TM, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Psychology. Botha, TE, and the degree with distinction. Ka, JL. Janse van Rensburg, AM. Janse van Rensburg, M, and the degree with distinction. King, N. Klinkenberg, FA. Ledimo, RN. Marokwane, M. Motlong, OP. Pawson, A, and the degree with distinction. Skuman, K. Tron, hier. Van der Walt, L, and the degree with distinction. Van Tonder, J.I., and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Arts, Honours with Specialization in Sesotho. Moeloa, S and G. Monwane, D. Mapule, DJ. Taele, SR. Hang on. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in Sociology. Kutsia, J. Mahloko, BP. Ramaele, ET. Bachelor of Arts Honours with specialization in South African Sign Language. Matsime, K. Mukwena, L. Tekiso, NB. Van der Westhuizen, EH and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Social Science Honours with specialization in Criminology. Kutsia, AGE. Klotse, C. Jacobs, M. Liu, T. Ludike, DD. Madhubanya, ML. Mofana, L. Mokwena, PM. Mokotedi, B. Monokwane, RM. Nkosi, BE. Ntoi, A. Reed, CA. Van Graaf, LX. Bachelor of Social Sciences Honours with specialization in Industrial Psychology. Gaba, KRM. Bachelor of Social Sciences Honours with specialization in Psychology. Labans, AC. Manyambo, SPI. Mashamba, MP. Mokwala, MP. Let me see. Mosutsa. Mosutsa, T. Muller of Muller? Muller. Muller, I. Nadia, F.E. Nsomishe, N. Poon, K.R. Ramate, M.T. Visser, C, and the degree with distinction. Bachelor of Social Science Honours with specialization in sociology. Hi Arwe, KK. Lamoon, BJ. Larata, L. O'Reilly, AF. Lost. Radita Pole, R. I've got it here, thank you. Stand here, please. Mr. Chancellor, I have the privilege to request to you to present the Dean's Medal to the recipient that I introduced to you. Awarded to a final year student who achieved the best results in respect of an honours degree in the Faculty of the Humanities. Swart Johanna Yvonne.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. This one went too quickly for me. It was 204, and it went too quickly. This year, I was only able to do 4 of the 10 graduation sessions. And I kind of still feel like I've not had enough. And so I'm not going to make this mistake again. I'm going to make sure that, because I feel a little unsatiated, having done only 4 out of 10. But for others, it's been a long week that started on Monday. The Vice-Chancellor did the first 6 graduation sessions, and I only did the remaining 4. But there are some, especially the 2 registrars, who've had to do all 10. And those of you on the stage who've done all 10, you're heroes to me. It's heroic to come in here and sit here for all 10 graduations. Well done to everybody. But let me thank the Dean, who's done 2 today, and well done, Dean Hudson. Your first solo flight was magnificent. Well done. Those on the stage that were welcomed by Dr. Finger, the representative of, firstly, the president of Convocation, Professor Johan Grobler, my good friend, represent for the chair of the council, Dr. Marius Swart, always a pleasure, and also Peter, always a pleasure for council to be represented, for Convocation and alumni to be represented here. And I'm not going to make the mistake again, Mr. Deputy President of the SRC, because I made it twice yesterday, so I'm going to acknowledge you, Mr. Rebuikanyo, for being here with us this afternoon. Members of the rectorates and all the deans, and Professor Daniela Cotier, the principal of the South Campus. I was told that you kind of dispute whether you are representative of the campus principal or not, but whatever it is that you are, thank you for being here too. Who else did I miss? I don't think I missed everybody on the stage. That fantastic rendition, and Dr. Finger, it's called cello, not cello. Cello. Can you say cello? I mean, not with music here would I allow that to go uncorrected. So for the faculty and everybody else, it's been corrected. It is cello, Dr. Finger. Am I right? Thank you, sir. But Professor Anne-Marie van der Westhuizen is not with us, but in her absence, let's please give a round of applause. And Hannes, unfortunately, had to depart early, but again, in his absence, let's say to our guest speaker today, Mr. Hannes van Wyk. Round of applause to him, please. Before I go to, but maybe I should do that. Let me just, in Hannes's absence, there's a few things that I could relate to in what he said. And the first one is where he started, that where do you go from here? Go hug your mother, he said. Or go hug your father, or go hug your grandmother, or go hug somebody. And the reason I can relate to that is because my graduate studies were done in California. And it was too far for me, both for the master's and the PhD, and I didn't have the money to bring my parents to come for those graduation sessions. And the absence of my parents led me to decide that it was not even worth my while to go to the graduation ceremony, because I did not have my mother or my father to go hug after that graduation ceremony. Those of you who are lucky enough, mother is here, father is here, grandmother, grandfather, uncle, aunt, whoever it is that's come here from your family, wife, husband, of course, boyfriend and girlfriend. Just go hug somebody and hug them for me too. For the hugs that I missed in California, please hug them and keep me in mind when you're hugging them. But also what he said, which was consistent with what the guest speaker this morning, the guest speaker yesterday afternoon, and yesterday morning said. This generous spirit that all four of them speak about. Yes, the success is yours. You are the one who did the studying. You are the one who did the assignments. You are the one who did the taking of exams. And you have every reason to feel that it belongs to you. Because it does belong to you. You are the one that walk across the stage, that was bestowed with a degree this afternoon. Nobody else but you. Later on, I'm going to say who you're obliged to share it with, but for now, whilst it is yours, he said there's value in numbers. That's how he put it this afternoon. But this morning, the guest speaker reminded us about the importance of choosing your friends well, people who bring positive things to your lives, and not investing too much time fighting against those who bring negative things to your life. Because that time invested fighting those who bring negativity to your life is time taken away from you doing positive things. Yes? Don't carry the burden alone. There are many others who are eager, willing, and ready to shoulder the burdens with you. But choose them well. Choose them well. We're told this morning that you must be the chief executive officer of yourself, of your life. And as the CEO of your life, one of the most important things that a CEO does, I sit on boards of companies, and one of the things that a good board will do is to appoint a good chief executive officer, and then to let them choose their own team. It's not for the board to choose the team for the CEO. What you're being told today is, as a CEO of your life, and you choose and decide who else must be in your life, choose them well. Brand Pretorius yesterday said one of the first principles for success is self-leadership, that you must be the best leader for yourself. Yesterday afternoon, Dr. David Abbey says, you must be your fiercest competitor, which means you must forever want to outdo yourself. You must forever want to do better tomorrow because you have the benefit of the experience of today. The mistakes that you make today, let them build you for you to make better decisions tomorrow. These are consistent messages that have come from 4 completely different individuals who were here by virtue of the fact that they are successful in what they endeavored to do. And they're sharing with us all what to them is what contributed to their success. In between these 2 graduation sessions this morning and this afternoon, I was stopped by a young lady as I was walking through campus. And she says to me, Ndadam Khele, I want you to tell me, how did your path go from where you began to you today being the chancellor of this university? I spent about 20 minutes with her, just sharing with her my own life's journey. And as I was chatting with her, a cousin of mine who's sitting here, he's commonly known as Shasha in the township. Some of our students, I'm sure this weekend, will go to Shasha's place to go do what people do at Shasha's place during weekends. And so I tell him what I'm standing talking to this young lady about. And he kind of joins in. And he's my cousin, we grew up together in Bloemfontein. He joins in and shares his understanding of my own story. And it includes believing that there are many other people who can bring richness to your own life. It includes respecting people simply because they're worthy of respect by virtue of being there, until they convince you otherwise. But it includes hugging your mother and hugging your father and loving them and respecting them. And that was Hannes' message to all of us. Congratulations. Well done. You've done fantastically well to have earned the right to walk across the stage this afternoon. And so that change that he said you must embrace, don't just embrace it because it happens to you. Embrace it because you also want to be the agent of change. David Abbey yesterday said he didn't remember what the graduation speaker at his graduation spoke about. So maybe many of you will not even remember what was said here today by both Hannes and myself. But if there's one thing that for me should not be too difficult for you to remember, is that today you live in a country that was constructed by other people. But in the future, you'll also live in a country that you also helped in the construction of. The question is, what kind of country do you want to live in? What kind of continent do you want to live on? What are you going to do as an agent of change to make this country that you live in, if you live in this country, or whatever country you live in, the country that you believe it needs or deserves to be? And this being a postgraduate graduation, also including postgraduate element, not all the graduates today are kind of youth. Some have kind of gone past the youth stage. And what my message, as we bid farewell to Nomzamo Matikizela Mandela, my message to the young ones amongst you is that let her represent. An American friend of mine sent me, when after her death was announced, and mentioned some of the flaws in her character. And my answer to her is, show me a flawless revolutionary and I will show you no revolution at all. As we bid farewell to her, let's also remember changes, some of which were forced upon her as a very young mother of 2 daughters, and what choices she made. And the youth of today, unfortunately, my generation and the generation that came before me, is bestowing upon you a bit of a messed up world, a bit of a messed up country. How are you going to correct it? The Zimbabweans amongst us, why do you live on a continent where when a 91-year-old president is deposed, he's replaced by a 75-year-old president, and we think he looks so young? Even our own CR17 is 67 years old? Why can't this continent, I've been talking about, if there's a Nigerian in the crowd, President Muhammadu Buhari. He was 200 years old when he was elected. He hasn't done anything for the 4 years that he's been president, except spend time in the UK, receiving medical attention. And he's running for re-election. And he may just get re-elected. Why does a continent and a country where the demographics are dominated by young people find it impossible to do like Canada and elect a 39-year-old Trudeau, or like France, to elect a 40-year-old Macron with his 60-year-old wife? So as you contemplate this future that these degrees launch you into, think about your country and your continent and decide what you want it to be and work towards that. Be the agent of change that will bring about that change. But for today, congratulations, well done, well deserved. Another round of applause for all of them, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go to mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, auntie, cousin, nephew, sitting at the back and sitting on the bleachers, many of whom very directly, but others indirectly, contributed to the success of yours that we're celebrating here today. I think it is appropriate for you to now please rise and look at them and say, thank you for your contributions in making it all happen. I think you can make a little more noise than that. As you remain standing, there are many a teacher who taught you from the time you started school until today. It's a profession that used to be hallowed. But unfortunately in this country, it's one of those professions that has become a doormat, unappreciated by government in many ways, unappreciated by society. And we will never get it right. It does not matter what we do. Whether our energy source is nuclear or solar, it does not matter. And how many people get bribes from those tenders? Until we restore the glory of the teaching profession, this country goes nowhere. And I want you to acknowledge all of those who taught you from the get-go. But using this one sitting in front of you in the red robes and those on the stage, just use them as a proxy and say thank you to all those teachers that taught you up to now. Again, I think you can make a lot more noise than that. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I'm now going to ask all those who got their degrees with distinction to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 8 years since I've been honored with being the chancellor of this university. 8 years ago, when I first arrived here, and we'll come to this part of my message, and I would ask the distinctions to rise, there would be 80-90% male and about 80% white. For the last 4 years, I've seen a remarkable change, and this change is consistent. It's been consistent for the last 4 years, and it is consistent across faculties. It is consistent even in those faculties where, as you look at the graduating class, the majority of the students are male. But when the distinctions rise, it's now become 80%. I'm looking at 90% female today. And I think this is remarkable. I suppose this, much as I believe that this bodes well for a better world and for a better future, because the world that we now have has been given to us by males in leadership positions. And with these females who are rising up and displaying their talents and skills, I can only believe that it bodes well for the future. And I, for one, am excited at the transition. But for the males of the species, the challenge is out there. Try and compete, and let them clap you one more time to see who's actually the boss. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been handed a note here, as if I was going to forget. And I'm kind of insulted by the note, because it suggests that I don't really know my job too well. This being the very final graduation session, as has become customary, I'm going to ask all those wearing university blazers and all those wearing the gowns with, what color is this? What's it called? This is not red. Is this red?
Yeah, it's red.
It kind of looks magenta to me. But I'm going to ask them all to come to the front, please. They are normally very shy. I normally have to ask them twice or 3 times. If they can please come up to the front here and just line up here. The process of putting together 10 graduation sessions, making sure that all those students who rightly must graduate do graduate, making sure that those certificates are printed, making sure that the programs are printed, making sure that everybody comes in here on the final day and sits exactly where they're supposed to sit, is an incredible production. It's an incredible and amazing production. I'm known by the team here as an absolute perfectionist and an absolute stickler for doing things right. There was a time when a very trusted Nick Fenter retired, when I got a bit worried about the quality of this production. I must confess that all my worries have dissipated now, because we have an incredible team, and I want the 2 registrars to please rise as well. And everybody else who is involved in this production, but I'm going to ask Helen to step forward, 2 steps forward. And I want to single her out because in addition to being a member of this team, she was also studying and getting an honors degree cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask all of us to please rise and say thank you to this magnificent team. I think you can make more noise than that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This does not only conclude the proceedings for this afternoon, but it concludes the proceedings for this whole week. And those of you who will go to Shasha's, you might find me there this weekend. The university takes great pleasure in inviting you for refreshments in the EXR, which is to the east or to the right as you exit this venue. Dr. Matilda Tomvium, accompanied by the graduation instrumental ensemble under direction of Dr. Juanita Erasmus Alt, will shortly lead us in the singing of the national anthem. After that, you are requested to remain standing while the congregation is dissolved and the main and academic processions leave the hall. May you please rise. By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of the Free State.